Hello students, in this video lecture I will be discussing about the concept of sewage treatment, which is related to our module 4 topic, that is environmental pollution and water chemistry. As we all know, sewage is nothing but it is the liquid waste that is discharged from domestic users as well as from various industries. So the industry is mainly the chemical industries or fertilizer industry, pharmaceutical industry, various manufacturing units. So they all discharge sewage which contains high toxic chemicals along with the pathogenic bacteria. So this sewage is actually characterized by its color as well as a bad odor, mainly because of the chemicals present in it, that is mainly chemicals or gaseous compound like hydrogen sulfide or phosphines, etc. In addition to this, they also contains various organic chemicals and also some dissolved and suspended organic as well as inorganic impurities, and it also contains high percentage of pathogenic bacteria. So if such a raw wastewater is discharged into natural water body, what happens? So if you discharge this to rivers or lakes or sea, they contaminate the water bodies and mainly they result in various other side effects, like they will give rise to the depletion of dissolved oxygen content in the water, and they damage the aquatic life, and also quality of water is affected, and as well as the pathogenic bacteria that is present in the sewage, it will give rise to various waterborne diseases problems also. So this sewage needs to be treated properly before we discharge into natural water bodies or recycled. So mainly the treatment we should aim to remove the organic compounds or any decaying matter that is present, and as well as the suspended or floating matter has to be removed, and other dissolved chemicals or inorganic salts as well as pathogenic bacteria. So they need to be removed effectively before we discharge into the water body. So the sewage treatment, it can be carried out effectively in 3 stages, that is primary treatment, secondary treatment and tertiary treatment. So primary treatment of sewage water, it is also called as physical method. So mainly this method is carried out to kill the pathogens as well as to eliminate the toxic chemicals, as well as to eliminate the dissolved organic, inorganic chemicals also. So if you are not removing the chemicals, dissolved chemicals, then obviously it will damage the aquatic life. And this primary treatment, mainly it involves the removal of suspended and floating solids from sewage. So as you can see here, basically the sewage from the industry or the domestic waste is allowed to pass through screens or bars, so that the larger suspended and floating solids are removed effectively, and they are passed inside a grit chamber where the sand heavier particles like glass materials or plastic materials or the sand, etc., they are allowed to settle at the bottom of the grit chamber, and only water is carried for the further step where we can remove the oil content or any fat content in the water or any grease content, followed by the sedimentation process. So in the sedimentation process we can remove the fine suspended particles effectively by adding some coagulating agent. So this is how basically we treat sewage water using the primary treatment. So these are the 4 steps involved in the primary treatment of sewage. So these 4 steps in detail if we discuss, the first step is the screening process. So here it is a physical process which mainly aims to remove the suspended and floating matter in the sewage, and here water is passed through screens or mesh screens mainly to remove the floating particles. So these screens will retain the floating and suspended particles, and only water is allowed to pass through it. And next step is slit and grit removal. So here the sewage is slowly passed through the grit chamber, and mainly the heavier particles like sand or the plastic material or glass materials are allowed to settle in the grit chamber, and only the water is allowed to pass through the next tank. So here velocity of flow of sewage is reduced so that the settling of heavier particles takes place effectively. And next step is removal of oil and grease, etc. So here in this case sewage is passed to a skimming tank where skimmed off process is carried out, and compressed air is blown through it to remove the floating oil and grease form. So here mainly they are converted, these oil and grease, it is converted into a form of soapy mixture by blowing compressed air through the sewage water in the skimming tank. So what happens after that, it is the surface, it forms a foam kind of layer, and this floating substance can be skimmed off easily. So next step is the sedimentation process, where this is carried out inside a sedimentation tank, and also that tank is called as primary clarifiers. So here sewage is sent to larger tank where fine particles are removed effectively by the sedimentation process or the coagulation process. So we need to add some external agent called as coagulating agent. So they will trap the impurity and they get settled at the bottom of the tank. So they become heavier, fine particles become heavier along with the coagulating agent, and they get settled at the bottom of the tank, and water is clear water is obtained easily. So the common coagulating agent used are alum and ferrous sulfate. So this is how primary treatment of sewage is carried out. So as you can see here, the screen is placed here which will prevent the flow of larger floating material inside the tank. It is related to primary treatment. So here the sedimentation tank as well as the skimming process is carried out inside a tank by allowing the water to settle for longer duration without disturbing. So here as you can see the representation, when you add a coagulating agent, what happens, they get settled at the bottom of the tank. So more clearly it is represented here. As you can see, when water has these suspended fine particles which cannot be removed by the grit chamber or the first by passing through the screen, it can be removed by adding coagulating agent. So here the coagulant like alum or ferrous sulfate is added inside the tank, where the impurities get trapped by these coagulant, and you can see here they form precipitate kind of particles and they becomes heavier along with the coagulant and get settled at the bottom of the tank, so that you can get the clear water easily. So this is about the primary treatment of water. Next is the secondary treatment of water, which is also called as biological method. So here mainly it involves the aerobic biochemical oxidation. So we are removing the biological impurity in this step. So mainly the organic matter is converted into carbon dioxide and other co-products here, and here it is designed to degrade the biological content of sewage. So this method is also carried out effectively by activated sludge process. In addition to that, we have other alternative method also, that is trickling filter method, but activated sludge process is the most common technique used for secondary treatment of sewage water. Now here the sewage from primary treatment stage, we need to pass through to a aeration tank. So you can see here the water after the primary treatment is allowed to pass to the aeration tank, which is mixed with the microbial culture or the impurity. We are going to supply the sludge here or the microbial culture to the tank, and it is aerated by compressed air. So what happens when you supply the microorganism here, the microorganism in the tank, they use the organic impurity present in the water for their growth process, and they undergo the respiration, oxidize them to carbon dioxide and water. So this is how the organic impurity is decayed or removed by the microbial that we supply. So we are supplying the sludge or impurity microbial culture to the aeration tank. So that is why this process is called as activated sludge process. As you can see here, they are like a bioreactor, how the microbials will utilize the organic impurity in the water for the oxidation process as well as for their growth. So now once the wastewater is received sufficient treatment from this sludge, then excess liquid is discharged into the settling tank or the clarifier settler, and only the upper part is passed to remove the pure water here. So this is what the step involved in the activated sludge process. So here you can see the part of this activated material here, sludge material, that is returned back to the aeration tank again, so that this is a recycled sludge we are using. So the process can be continuous. Whatever the sludge is generated here, again we can send back to the aeration tank for the microbial oxidation process, so that organic impurities are removed effectively. So this is called as activated sludge process. So mainly it involves the extensive aeration of the sewage water after the primary treatment, as you can see in the diagram, and it involves the process of aerobic oxidation by the addition of part of sludge from previously maybe we can use from the sewage water itself, and this added sludge is utilized for the removal of the organic impurity. So it acts as activated sludge here, that is why the name activated sludge process. So this sludge contains mainly a large number of aerobic bacteria and other microbial etc. So here after the secondary treatment, water is allowed to go for the tertiary treatment process. So the theory part, as we can see, as we have explained from the diagram, first the sewage from primary treatment is sent to the aeration tank, and it is mixed with the microbial culture. We are supplying the sludge which is enriched with the microbials like bacteria, protozoa, algae, etc., and aerated by compressed air. So this microbial culture utilizes the organic impurity in the tank for their respiration process, and they get oxidized to carbon dioxide and the organic impurities is oxidized to carbon dioxide and water. So again it is represented here with the same diagram. So here you need to explain the process using this block diagram representing the aeration tank and clarifier settler, and how the treated water is taken out here, and how this waste sludge is recycled back to the aeration tank again. So once the wastewater has received sufficient treatment, we need to discharge into the settling tank or the clarifier settler, as you can see here. So part of the settled material is returned to the head of the aeration system, that is the sludge is recycled back to the aeration tank for the treatment of new wastewater entry batch. So this fraction of this returned sludge, we also mention it as return activated sludge. So this is about secondary treatment or biological method of sewage treatment or activated sludge process. Now coming to the tertiary treatment of sewage water. So here the further purification after the secondary step, that is the final stage. In order to meet the required quality, we need to go for the tertiary treatment of sewage water. So mainly it consists of removal of phosphates or coagulation and sedimentation process here, as well as maybe the filtration process or degasification, removal of any gaseous impurities, as well as the final disinfection. So you can see the clear picture here how this primary treatment, wastewater from the industry or the domestic waste, how it is passed through the bars or screens, and then it is sent to the grit removal, and where again we need to remove the oil and grease impurity and the sedimentation process. After that we need to send to the aeration tank here, that is related to the secondary treatment. So this secondary treatment, you can see the sludge. So the sludge can be utilized from the primary treatment, that the impurity we get, that itself can be sent to the aeration tank for the microbial oxidation here. So here you can see it is sent to tertiary treatment, whereas the sludge is recycled back to the aeration tank again. So this is the overall image about the sewage water treatment, and this tertiary treatment is also called as chemical method. So mainly how we can remove the phosphate here. Phosphate can be removed by adding lime. So what happens when you add lime, or if phosphate content is there in water, it is removed as calcium phosphate. So when you add lime or calcium hydroxide here, first step, when you add lime or calcium hydroxide, a precipitate is formed. That precipitate is nothing but calcium phosphate. So phosphate can be removed effectively. Next, removal of heavy metals like mercury, that can be carried out by adding sulfides, and treatment with the charcoal or absorption of some impurities can be carried out also by to get the pure clear water, the removal of the color also. So next one, by degasification, that is removal of dissolved gases are removed by trickling the water through a tall tower with high force under hot condition, so that the liberation of dissolved gases takes place effectively. And this degasification, easily we can remove the dissolved gases like ammonia, carbon dioxide, or hydrogen sulfide, etc. So mainly hot water trickles through plates. This method is used. And last one is disinfection, mainly to remove the pathogenic bacteria by passing chlorine gas, ozone, or ultraviolet radiation, and chloramine UV light treatment. So they are mainly, this step is to remove the pathogenic bacteria. So commonly used disinfectant is chlorine, which is cheap as well as effective also. And also we can go for the, in addition to these tertiary treatment may involve the filtration also, where we can pass the water through sand filter beds to remove last traces of suspended matter. So that is also a method of part of tertiary treatment. And also by sedimentation process also we can remove the fine suspended particle which was not able to remove by primary or secondary treatment. So these are all the various methods that is followed for tertiary treatment to meet the required quality of water. So in if you are going for coagulation or sedimentation, we need to add the coagulant like ferrous sulfate or alum. So what happens when you add the coagulant? They form the precipitate and they get settled down in the tank, so that water can be clear water can be obtained. So this is about primary, secondary and tertiary sewage treatment. So mainly primary treatment, mainly the floating solids are removed from water. Secondary treatment, we are supplying the microorganisms so that they eat the organic or they utilize the organic impurity present in the water, and they get settled at the bottom of the clarifier tank, and water, clear water can be obtained. So here sludge is supplied. So sludge is activated here. That is why this method is also called as activated sludge method or biological method. Whereas tertiary treatment is also called as chemical method. Here we can go for the removal of adsorption process, removal of colored impurities, as well as removal of dissolved chemicals like phosphates or heavy metals also, as well as the fine suspended particles can be removed by sedimentation also, and disinfectant process where we can go for various methods like treating with chlorine, chloramine or UV light or ozone treatment, etc. So this is about the summary of sewage treatment. So here also you can see the clear picture how this raw sewage enters the screen, followed by the grit chamber, followed by the settling tank, and the sludge obtained can be directly used for the secondary treatment also. So what you can see, this is the secondary treatment unit where aeration tank and clarifier settler or the settling tank is here. Only in the upper clear water is further taken for the tertiary treatment, whereas settled sludge is recycled back to the aeration tank for the next process. So with this we have discussed about the methods involved for sewage treatment so that we get pure water with the required standard and quality, and it will not harm the natural water bodies when we supply to the water bodies from the industry or from the domestic waste, as well as that water can be used for some other industrial use also or agricultural purpose also. So with this we have done with the 3 main steps involved in sewage treatment. In the next video lecture we will be discussing about different water analysis methods by mainly the fluoride content in water and sulfate content in water, how it can be analyzed. So thank you all.